that cannot be abridged. Therefore, the federal government should adopt a single-payer healthcare system. Studies have shown that the costs of healthcare in Canada as a percent of gross domestic product, which were identical to the United States when Canada switched to a single-payer system, have increased at a rate much lower than the United States, despite the United States economy being much stronger than Canada's. Single-payer universal healthcare costs would be lower than the current United States system due to administrative costs. The United States spends 50 to 100% more on administration than single-payer systems. By lowering these administrative costs, the United States would have the ability to provide universal health care without managed care, increase benefits, and still save money. Some say that universal health care would result in government control and intrusion into health care, resulting in loss of freedom of choice. However, under a single-payer universal health care system, there would be a free choice of health care providers. Unlike our current managed care system, in which people are forced to see providers on the insurer's panel to obtain medical benefits. The United States ranks poorly relative to any other industrialized nation in healthcare, despite having the best trained healthcare providers and the best medical infrastructure of any industrialized nation. For instance, the Australian healthcare system. The Australian healthcare system is mixed. The responsibilities for healthcare are divided between the federal government and the state government. Australia spends about 8.5% gross domestic product on healthcare compared to the 16% in the United States. Compared to 16% in the United States, 9.5% in Canada, and 7% in England. In Australia, Medicare, which is funded out of general tax revenue, pays for hospital and medical services. Medicare covers all Australians, pays the entire cost of treatment in a public hospital, and reimburses you for doctor's visits. The Australian government pays for about 70% of healthcare costs, which is approximately 47% from the federal government and 23% from the state government. The remainder of that is paid by non-government sources. In France, individuals get their choice of doctor and they are never put on a waiting list. The doctors in France don't make the same amount of money that American doctors make. However, the medical school is free and malpractice insurance is only a fraction of what U.S. doctors pay, which eliminates the need for such high-paying salaries. There are no deductibles in France. Instead, they have co-pays, which are dismissed for any chronic illnesses. France only spends up to 10.7% gross domestic product on health care in comparison to the United States' 16%. 65% of French people are satisfied with their healthcare system versus the 16% of people in the United States that are satisfied. Comparing the annual costs of healthcare around the world, Australia pays $2,886 per year on healthcare. Canada pays $2,998 on healthcare per year. France pays $3,048 on healthcare per year. Switzerland pays $3,847 per year on healthcare. And then the United States comes out on top with paying $5,711. In comparing and contrasting Canada and the United States, statistics show the population of Canada at 307 million people and 33 million in the United States. The life expectancy in Canada is 81.2 years, while the United States is at 78.1. In Canada, the death rate is 7.6 deaths per 1,000 people, and the United States, the death rate is 7.6 deaths per 1,000 people. So according to these charts, it seems that Canada is a little more well off than the United States in those particular subjects. Healthcare facilities around the United States are largely owned and are operated by the private sector, with the exception of Medicare, which is a federal program that pays for certain healthcare expenses for people 65 years or older. Medicaid, which is a program funded by the federal and state governments, which pays for medical care for those who can't afford it. And lastly, TRICARE, which is a health care plan for the United States military members, families, and retirees. More money per person is spent on health care in the United States than any other country. Fewer and fewer small businesses are offering health insurance because it just costs too much. So, say you lose your job. Yeah, you can still have your COBRA coverage, which refers to the Consolidated Budget Reconciliation Act of 1985. It includes members of company health plans who have lost their coverage due to a qualifying event to continue coverage at the employee's expense for a period of time. But that period of time only lasts for 18 months, and that's only for companies that offer it. Companies can offer COBRA coverage if the company has 20 or more employees. It is against the law for any federally or state-funded hospital to turn someone away. So, basically, everyone is getting health care, but 15.3% are not insured, and those people are getting the health care for free. We are advocates for a single-payer healthcare system, and we think the government should run it.